Let me ask you something, and I want you to really feel this, not just hear it. What if the only thing standing between the life you're living and the life you're meant to live is a single question? Why not you? Why not you who breaks the cycle? Why not you who rises above the fear, the excuses, the self-doubt? Why not you who changes the game, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you? Some of you walked in here today carrying the weight of your past, your pain, your patterns, and you've convinced yourself somewhere along the way that greatness is for other people, that dreams like yours are for the lucky, the special, the chosen. I'm here to tell you something that might just change everything. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are possible. And this moment right now is not an accident. This is your invitation to stop watching other people live the life you want and start believing. Why not you? Let me tell you something most people never hear enough. Your past does not define you. I don't care what you've done, where you've been, how many times you've fallen, or what you didn't get as a kid. Your past is not a prison sentence. It's raw material. And if you've got the courage to own it, instead of run from it, it becomes fuel. See, we've been trained to look at our story as a life sentence. I came from this kind of home. I didn't finish school. I made too many mistakes. I failed too many times. And those voices, they're not facts. They're habits, rehearsed thoughts that become our identity over time. But identity is not fixed. It's chosen. And at any moment, you can draw a line in the sand and say, enough of letting the old story dictate the new chapter. Enough of shrinking to fit the mold you didn't even choose. When people say, I'm stuck, what they really mean is, I've memorized a story that tells me why I can't. And here's the truth. Your mind will always fight for the story you believe. If you believe you're broken, your brain will find evidence to prove it. But if you decide to believe you're capable, you're worthy, you're ready, even if you don't have all the answers, your life starts to bend in that direction. There are people out there living the life you dream about, not because they're smarter, luckier, or more gifted, but because they refused to let their past keep writing their future. They said, I'm more than what happened to me. I'm more than what I didn't get. I'm more than my pain. And the moment they made that decision, everything began to shift. You've got to stop worshiping your wounds. Stop carrying them like a badge. They were lessons, not life sentences. You've already survived them. Now use them. Use the pain. Use the rejection. Use the failure. Turn it into power. Turn it into perspective. Let it humble you, shape you, but don't ever let it cage you. Because the truth is, you are not a product of your past. You are a product of your decisions. And the most powerful decision you can make is to stop waiting for permission to become who you were meant to be. You don't need permission. You need to decide right here, right now. So I'll ask you again, and this time, don't answer with your head. Answer with your soul. Look in the mirror of your life and say it out loud. Why not you? You weren't born just to exist. You weren't put on this earth just to pay bills, clock in, clock out, and wait for something magical to happen. There's a reason you're here, a reason your heart beats and your lungs fill with air every single day. And deep down, you know it. You've felt it. Maybe in quiet moments, maybe in wild dreams that scared you. That voice inside that says, you were made for more. That's not imagination. That's your soul remembering its purpose. But life piles up, doesn't it? The noise gets loud. Responsibilities, expectations, disappointments, they stack on top of that purpose until you start to forget it's even there. People tell you to be realistic, to play it safe, to shrink into the version of yourself that makes everyone else comfortable. And over time, you start to believe them. You start to settle. Not because you're weak, but because no one reminded you that it's okay to want more, that it's right to want more, that wanting to live a life filled with meaning, growth, passion, that's not selfish, that's human. You see, every person alive was born with something unique inside of them. Call it a gift, call it a fire, call it potential. But whatever name you give it, it's yours. It's been there since day one. And maybe it got buried. Maybe it got laughed at. Maybe someone told you that your dream was too big or your voice didn't matter. But that doesn't make it any less real. You're still here. You're still breathing. That means your purpose didn't die. It's just waiting on you to show up. And no, you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need a perfect plan or a fancy degree or a permission slip from the world. You just need to start showing up as the person you were born to be, one choice at a time. You think purpose is found in some grand moment of clarity? No. Purpose is found in action, in momentum, in saying, I don't know exactly how, but I know why. That's the difference between people who live fully and people who just survive. The people you admire, the ones out there doing things that stir your soul, they're not different from you. They just stopped waiting for a sign and started becoming the sign. They chose to believe that the life they dreamed of wasn't just for someone else. They chose to believe they were meant for it. And if they can believe that, why not you? Because if you're still alive, there's still more for you, more to give, more to learn, more to experience. And the world isn't waiting for the perfect version of you, it's waiting for the real you. The bold you, the one that knows deep down, why not you? Fear is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. And here's the truth nobody tells you loud enough. Fear is not the enemy. It's not something to eliminate. It's not something to avoid. Fear is part of the process. It's a signal. It shows up when something matters. It shows up when you're standing on the edge of growth, of change, of becoming more than you've been. The people who do great things in this world aren't fearless. They're just no longer ruled by it. Most people wait for fear to disappear before they act. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll speak when I'm not nervous. I'll move when I'm sure. But guess what? That moment doesn't come. Readiness is a myth. Certainty is a lie. And fear is the price of entry for a meaningful life. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. If it doesn't shake you a little, it's not growth, it's comfort in disguise. You want to know what fear really is? It's a doorway. It's the final test before you enter the next level of your life. You can either bow to it, let it decide for you, let it talk you out of your own greatness, or you can lean into it, walk through it, own it. Because when you move through fear, when you take the action you were scared to take, you reclaim your power. You show yourself that fear doesn't mean stop, it means go, it means grow. And I get it, fear feels real. The pit in your stomach, the sweaty hands, the racing thoughts. Your nervous system goes on high alert and it screams, don't do it, stay where it's safe. But safe is not what you came here for. You didn't come here to hide. You didn't come here to half live. You came here to break barriers, to evolve, to lead. And every time you avoid the fear, every time you choose safety over growth, you shrink the possibilities of your life. Now, let me be clear. Fear isn't something you beat once and for all. It shows up at every level. But once you learn to move with it, you stop being paralyzed by it. You start using it as a compass. You start asking, what would my life look like if I did the thing I'm afraid of? That's where the breakthrough lives. That's where the real you lives. Not the watered down version you show the world, but the bold, unstoppable force you were born to be. Fear will never leave, but you get to choose who drives the car, the fear or the fire inside you that's been begging to lead. Because in the end, greatness belongs to those who step forward in spite of fear. And if they can do it, if they can walk through it and rise on the other side, why not you? Excuses are seductive. They're comfortable, familiar, even reasonable at times. They let you off the hook, right? They tell you it's okay to wait, to pause, to not risk it today. They make you feel safe, even justified. But I'll tell you something hard and real. Excuses don't build dreams. They bury them. Every time you defend your limitations, you lock the door on your potential. And the worst part? You start to believe those limits are real. You know the voice I'm talking about. The one that says it's not the right time, or I don't have the money, or I wasn't raised for this. That voice isn't trying to protect you, it's trying to keep you small. Because small feels safe. Small is predictable. But small will starve your soul. And if you keep feeding your excuses, your goals will stay hungry. Look, I'm not here to judge you. I've made excuses too. We all have. It's human. But there comes a moment when you've got to stop arguing for the life you don't want. There comes a moment when you stop letting your story be the reason why you can't and start making it the reason why you must. That moment is where your power lives. And most people never get there because they're still negotiating with their comfort zone, still defending the chains they claim to hate. Do you want to know the truth? The life you want, the business, the relationship, the health, the freedom, it's on the other side of the excuses you've been rehearsing for years. And no one's coming to take those excuses from you. That's your job. That's your responsibility. You have to be the one who says, I'm done settling. I'm done blaming. I'm done waiting for conditions to be perfect, because conditions will never be perfect. But your decision, that can be powerful right now. You don't get progress from wishing. You get it from ownership. From radical, honest, no BS ownership, the kind where you look in the mirror and say, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not staying here. That's when the game changes. Not when circumstances shift. When you shift. When you stop pointing the finger outward and start pulling your life upward. Do you think you need more time, more resources, more confidence? No, you need more truth. You need to drop the stories that have kept you playing small and pick up the belief that says, I've got what it takes, even if I don't see it all yet. Because movement doesn't come after clarity. Clarity comes after movement. Take the step, make the call, write the page, show up, not perfectly, just fully. And remember this, nobody who ever did something extraordinary started with perfect circumstances. They started with a choice. So if they could do it without the excuse, without the guarantee, why not you? We live in a world that's obsessed with big wins, huge moments, overnight success stories, social media highlights that make it seem like people just woke up successful. But that's not how transformation works. That's not how real change is built. The truth is, greatness doesn't come from one massive leap. It comes from a series of small, often unseen, consistent choices made over time. It's the little things you do every day when no one's watching that shape who you become. People wait for a big break, a defining moment, a lightning bolt of clarity. But what really changes your life are the small decisions, the ones that look insignificant in the moment, but over time stack into something unstoppable. You skip the gym today, you scroll instead of build. You delay the conversation you need to have. It seems small, but momentum works in both directions. You're either reinforcing your power or reinforcing your pattern. There is no neutral. You got to understand, the compound effect is real. One small discipline repeated daily becomes a habit. That habit shapes your identity, and your identity controls your destiny. So don't underestimate that 5 a.m. alarm or that 1 hour you dedicate to your side hustle after work, or the decision to reach for water instead of sugar. These choices are carving your future. You're voting with your actions every single day, casting a vote for the person you're becoming. And I know it doesn't always feel like it's working. It doesn't always feel exciting. But success is boring before it becomes beautiful. It's repetition. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's trusting that the process is working even when the progress isn't obvious. And most people never get what they want because they quit during the boring phase. They confuse a lack of fireworks for a lack of growth. But listen to me, if you do what's easy, life gets hard. If you do what's hard, life gets easier. The uncomfortable choices you make now, they become freedom later. And if you can string together enough of those uncomfortable, growth-centered choices, they become a lifestyle. They become who you are. That's the real shift. When the hard things stop being things you force and start becoming things you crave, that's when you've changed. That's when you stop asking, how long do I have to do this? And you start saying, this is just what I do. This is who I am now. So don't wait for the big break. Become the kind of person who earns it. One decision at a time. One day at a time. One moment of discipline at a time. Because if others can shape their life through small daily steps, if they can rise by choosing progress over comfort every day, why not you? You don't get to take anything with you when it's all over. Not the money, not the titles, not the things you collected. But what you do leave behind is who you were. The impact you made. The lives you touched. The energy you brought into a room. That's your real legacy. That's what people remember. Long after your voice goes quiet, your life will still be speaking. The question is, what will it say? So many people drift through life thinking legacy is for someone else, for the famous, for the wealthy, for the ones with platforms and stages. But that's not true. Legacy isn't about status, it's about significance. And significance isn't measured by scale, it's measured by intention. It's measured by the way you choose to show up every single day in the lives of the people around you. You're building it right now with every conversation, every decision, every moment of presence or absence. You've already influenced people. Whether you realize it or not, you've already changed someone's day, maybe even their direction, just by being who you are. The way you love, the way you lead, the way you keep going even when it's hard. That matters. That's power. And you don't need a microphone to be a messenger. You don't need a following to make an impact. You just need to live in alignment with the truth inside you. You just need to care enough to live fully, not someday, but now. And when you live that way, something shifts. You stop asking, what can I get? And you start asking, what can I give? You stop wondering how life's treating you and start focusing on how you're showing up for life. And here's the twist. When you live to serve, to give, to grow others, that's when your life starts to feel rich, not just successful, meaningful, fulfilling, alive. You don't have to be perfect to leave something beautiful behind. You just have to be real. Be brave, be intentional. That version of you, the one who lifts instead of tears down, the one who listens, who creates, who dares, who heals. That's the version people remember. That's the story they'll tell when your name comes up years from now. They made me feel like I mattered. They reminded me of what was possible. They showed me what resilience looks like. This world doesn't need more noise. It needs more depth. It needs people who choose to live awake. People who don't wait to be told they matter, but decide to matter on purpose. And if you think that's only for someone else, someone stronger, smarter, louder, let me remind you,